Good morning, everyone. This is Ramajan and Catherine Carrigan with What is Social Media Today, teaching you how to win the game of social media. Today's guest is Logan Young, straight from the social media conference that Catherine and Logan were at this past weekend. It was probably the biggest social media conference that happens. Logan works with a company. He may have started this company. It's called blissmetrics.com, and it is a Facebook ad targeting concept. And I think that this falls right in line with our last several webinars where we started to talk about how do we find the correct client? How do we find our clients? And Facebook ads are a way of targeting customers. They have a lot of different metrics in place to allow us to target a specific area, a specific type of person, and probably a host of other things as well. Facebook ads are affordable. So if you plan on spending money on advertising, Facebook might be the perfect spot for you. With that said, I'm going to hand this over to Catherine and Logan.
So I just want to introduce Logan Young of blitzmetrics.com. At the social media conference that I was at, Logan Young and his boss, Dennis Yu, were two of the most impressive people that I've met there. And you can make a Facebook ad and make a difference in attracting readers for your books and customers for your business for as little as $1 a day. And with that, I'm going to turn everything over to Logan. And Logan, if you'll introduce yourself and maybe start by telling everybody what you do with Blitz Metrics, and then go into your presentation about how Blitz Metrics can help everybody.
Sure. Thank you, Catherine. Excited to be here, everyone. I work with Blitz Metrics in operations. At Blitz Metrics, we do run Facebook ads. We also do some Google. And we're kind of known for some of our bigger clients. We work with like the Golden State Warriors and TiVo and some big names. But our practices, like Catherine said, are also very simple. And we kind of our bread and butter is how you can, if you're not the Golden State Warriors and you're not some huge powerhouse client and you don't have a team to do your marketing and you don't have a big budget, how can you still drive results on Facebook for just $1 a day? And today, that's what we want to kind of go over a little bit. So with that, I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. All right. So are you guys able to see this? It's facebook.com. Okay. So the first thing is Facebook is, as was mentioned, very powerful because of its targeting. It's able to target very specifically because of the data it holds for people. But before we get into targeting, let's talk about how you can actually win on Facebook by using video. Because if you don't have good content, you're trying to sell a book or start your business, but your content is not very impressive, then it's no matter how specific your targeting is, you're just not going to see the results that you'd like to see. So before I even actually get to Isaac, if I just go fb.com, which is facebook.com, Facebook and Google are fundamentally different. Google has kind of been around in terms of ads a little bit longer, and a lot more people are comfortable doing Google ads, which is according to search. When people come to Google, they already have intent to buy. They're already looking for something. They're typing in books or food or plumbing. They already have something in mind they're looking for. On Facebook, people don't come with something they're looking for. They just come and they start scrolling kind of aimlessly, right? And your post, let's see if I can find an ad for you guys on here. So anytime you're actually looking for an ad, you won't find them. Most people recognize that these posts on the right side are ads, but you can actually, in Facebook, you can choose to have your ads here in the news feed, which makes them look very organic or natural. And a lot of times we'll see those perform better. But so this is something interesting, and this is the way Facebook really works. People are scrolling till they just kind of see something that's interesting enough to cause them to stop and digest it. And we've seen that video performs the best on Facebook. We're going to talk about how you can get results using video for just $1 a day and how you can make video. So I want to pull up someone's page. There's also, so I just searched Isaac Irvine, and the first thing that pops up is people. So this is a profile. So there's profiles, and then there's pages, and they're two different things. Most people, they start off making a profile. If you want to have a business or sell your book, you need to make a Facebook page, which is very easy to do. And it only takes a few minutes, but in order to boost posts, in order to target ads, you need to have a page. I'm going to click page, and I can see here it says public figure page. So Isaac, some of you might have even seen this video. He works for GoDaddy. He lives in Arizona, and so he has a few kids. So he made this video of his son Brody, who's got bullied because he has long hair. So some people bullied him and said he looked like a girl. And this is just one of them, but we can see 58K views. Where's some others? Let's make some follow-up ones. He's posted it to Ellen Nation, the LED Bible. Look at this, 5 million views. See, Facebook tells you how many views your video gets, and Facebook counts a view as if someone watches at least 3 seconds. And we can see this isn't a video that was like professionally produced. There was no director. It's not a commercial. It's just Isaac on his iPhone. He has it set up. He's not even in the frame. It cuts off his face, and he's just talking to his son. He put some captions on it because a lot of people, their videos start auto-playing, so a lot of people watch videos actually without the sound. They'll just read the captions. And Facebook has a feature that lets you auto-add captions. But what's so powerful is that for video, you just get this crazy reach without spending a lot of money. And really quick, our biggest recommendation, that's why we talk about Facebook for $1 a day. So the smallest budget you can have on Facebook is $1. So what you want to do is create a few videos of, it can just be you with your iPhone. Even if you don't feel like you're comfortable in front of the camera, just, here's my book, or just talk about maybe the exciting part or why it relates to whoever you're going to target. And we've seen that about 1 in every 5 posts is usually what we call a winner. So we advocate testing multiple posts for a small budget of $1 a day. And then when you find your winner, put your money against that. For example, that video of Isaac and his son being bullied, that wasn't the only video he posted. He has this other one of him, doing a Star Wars review because he really likes Star Wars. And, 2 tips to improve your personal brand on social media. So he posted these different videos and we boosted them. But it was the one of his son that really took off. That was our winner. So once we found a winner, then we put all our spend against that. CBS News, okay, so he's on CBS News for doing this. And the way you can know what's a winner and what's not a winner is when you're on your page, I'll go back, see, here's Isaac's page. I have admin on his page. That's why I'm able to see this view. You'll go over to Insights, and then it has all your promotions, which means all the ones you spent money against. And it basically tells you how well they've done. So here you have your spend and your engagements. All else equal, if I'm spending $1 a day for 7 days, I'll have a bunch of posts that have $7 to spend against them. Look, this one has $5, 4 post engagements. Not very good. This one has $7, 2,600 post engagements. So I can tell right away this one spent $2 more, yes, but obviously way, way, way better of the two. Way more reach. This one has 184 reach. This one has 8,000. So if these were the only 2, of course, this would be my winner. Here's another one to compare. And this one actually is we tried some different audiences, so maybe this one didn't work, but the same amount of spend, see $7, 26 engagements compared to 119. 8,000 reach compared to 1,000 reach. So Facebook's trying to tell you, hey, we saw that, oops, I need to click on that. We saw that you boosted some different posts, and just so you know, this one is performing better. So when something performs better, Facebook will give it more reach. They want the users to have a good experience, so they'll show it to more people. Even though I'm spending the same amount of money, all else equal, you'd expect that if I spend 700 here and 700 here, not 700, $7, I'd get the same amount. Well, for $7, how many people can I reach? Well, it depends on how good your content is. If it's not very good compared to the audience you're targeting it to, only 1,000. So I have $1,000 CPM, cost per 1,000. If it's really good and people like it, 8,000. So that's why you're going to want to make like 5 videos. I mean, not only 5, you can make a ton, but we really advocate videos. It can be posts too. For example, I don't think this is a video. I think this, oh, it is. Okay. But it could be just like a standard post. And then, but do a few of these, test them for just $1 a day. Everybody has that budget. Test a few of them, let them run for 7 days, because you don't want to let it just run for 1 day, because Facebook has something called OCPM. So CPM is cost per 1,000. OCPM is optimized cost per 1,000, meaning that Facebook's algorithm naturally within whoever you're targeting, if you're targeting some group of everybody that likes Barnes & Noble, and that's some group of 100,000 people, Facebook within that targeting group is going to find the people that will most likely resonate with your content based off the data they have about people. But in order for that to happen, you have to give it a few days to run. So we like to run these for $1 a day for 7 days before we know if they're really good or not. So make a few, at least 5, start running them, and then once you find a winner, you know, put the majority of your spending against that. Like a lot of people in Facebook mistakenly will just keep producing new and new content, and they'll actually have some winners. They'll have some posts that do really well, but they'll like run them for a little bit and then they end. If something's doing really well, like why would you ever quit running it? You know, you should run that thing. We call it evergreen. You know, it's getting as much juice out of the orange as you can, you know, squeezing as much, you know, yield from that as you can. And I'm back in the Insights tab again. There's just another, this is below the promotions. So again, I can see all the posts. And here, I can see the ones that have been boosted. I can see what type it's a video. One thing to know, if you are looking at a video compared to a link or a photo, I can see that this video has more engagements. But Facebook does count a video view as a type of engagement, which is what the majority of these 467 are. It's just people that have simply viewed this video. I can see I can add more money if I wanted. And then when you click, Facebook tells you what type of engagements there are. So people can engage by liking, commenting, and sharing, and also watching the video. And it's increasingly weighted, meaning a like is perhaps worth 1 point, a comment is worth 6, and a share is worth 13. So if something gets a lot of shares, that is the most powerful thing you can have, because that creates word of mouth. I want to show you one more thing, and then I want to talk about targeting a little bit. You can come over here, do videos. Your video library should house all the videos that you have. And one way, like we talked about, to know if your video is performing is just the engagement gets kind of apples to apples. But they also have stats about your video. So if you're over here in your video library, you can click on any video and see a few things about it. So we said a video view is counted as 3 seconds. So you can see 58,000 people watched at least 3 seconds of this. We believe what's kind of more powerful is a 10-second view, because that's a little bit more indicative that they actually, you know, stuck around for a little bit and kind of saw some of your message. We like to see at least 40 to 50% of our 3-second views make it to a 10-second view. So in this case, we're pretty close to that. We're past the 40 mark. 26 times 2 would give us 52. It's 58. So that's pretty good. I mean, it's getting a little nitty gritty, but the big thing to focus on, and you don't have to do any math, it's just this video average watch time. The average watch time for any video on Facebook is 6 seconds, but that's really not very good, because most people just don't know how to do video. They try and add in this really long intro, like again, going back to our earlier point, people, Facebook are just kind of scrolling. So you want your video to get into the action right away. You know, don't waste time introducing yourself, saying, "Hey, like, yeah, you know, hey, I'm Isaac, and I'm from Arizona, and I'm, 42, and I have kids." You know, don't give yourself this bio. Just kind of get right into it, because people just are going and looking for something to grab their attention. So going back to video average watch time, 6 seconds is the average. 10 to 15 seconds is good. If you have something that's higher than 15 seconds, 15 plus is great. That's another way to know you found a winner. If you have a video that has a video average watch time of 15 plus seconds, that is really, really good. Let's see, this one's 9. Isaac's videos are actually all really good. That should be higher, but I mean, it's the way it looks. One other thing too, the reach, it doesn't show it on this page, but we like to see, we talked about what we want to see 50% of video views, or 40 to 50% make it a 10-second video views. We like to see 50% of the reach make it to a video view. So meaning if my reach is 100,000, then I'd like to see at least 50,000 become a video view. Okay, so now let's go back to the page. So let's say I have some videos created. In order to send them to a target, the first thing I have to do is I have to post them on my page organically to start. And then once I have some organic posts, and Facebook even makes it easy. I can do a live video or share a photo or video. They have these new organic tabs, So you don't have to pay for these. This is organically, meaning it doesn't cost money. Advertise your business, create an event, create an offer. I'll get more people to learn more, get messages. So if I do this, like create an event, I can do this book signing, or the intro of my book, or it's the kickoff. I can't think of the right word, but advertise your business. So Facebook adds call to action buttons, basically to try and help people. So let's say I have some videos posted. Let's see if there's any we haven't boosted actually. Okay, this isn't a video, but this is one of the things we haven't boosted. So you'll see this little boost post button, and you need to, of course, link some kind of finance for this to work. So you'll click this boost post. So right here on the page, like, you can set up ads in Ads Manager or Power Editor, but for the most part, that's pretty unnecessary. We'll hop over there in a second. You can see you can add these buttons: shop now, book now, learn more, etc. And down here, it tells you who you're targeting. And I can create a new audience from here. Actually, let me see. Okay, so in Ads Manager or Business Manager, which we'll go to in a second, you can create audiences. And once they're created, they'll be saved. And then when you boost from the page, it loads all your audience. WCA is a website custom audience, meaning someone that's visited my website. This isn't actually for Isaac. People who like your page and their friends. But anyway, so what you do is you choose your target, and then you come down, you choose your budget. We talked about doing $1 a day for 7 days, and then you just boost it and let it run for a few days. So the last thing I want to talk about before we do some Q&A is how to create targeting that will resonate. So we started off on Facebook.com. Now we're going to go. You can do it. First of all, I should have showed you, actually. You can create the targeting right here. I could do create a new audience, and it'll pull up these things. I can give it a name, and I can say women, whatever, 24 to 65, living in Arizona. But if I just create one on the fly, I cannot reuse it because it's not saved. So we want all our audiences to be saved, so that if we find audiences that really resonate, we can reuse them. So I'm going to come over, I go business.facebook.com. And you'll have to set up a business manager again. It's super simple. It takes just a few minutes. There's this hamburger menu with all these options. We're just going to go to audiences. there's 3 different types of audiences on Facebook. There is a custom audience, a lookalike audience, and a saved audience. A custom audience, we're going to spend most of our time on saved audience, but just before we get there, a custom audience, if you get to this point, is people that have engaged with you, which can actually be pretty powerful because most people like to do saved audiences, which are static audiences, meaning, I want to target women ages 30 to 50 who make 100K plus a year and are a mom and they're a stay-at-home mom and all these things. You can do all these things on Facebook. I call it a static audience because it's not changing. A custom audience is based off someone that's taking action. So it's someone that's been to my website in the last X amount of days. Or maybe I don't have a website, I don't have a lot of traffic there, but I've been running some videos on Facebook. So I could just do people that have watched at least 10 seconds of my most popular video in the last 28 days. Or people that have engaged with my Facebook page, Isaac Irvine, in the last 7 days. So if people have engaged with your page, but they haven't bought your book, or they haven't called you, or whatever it is you're trying to get them to do, those are probably the people you want to target because they've already taken some action. They've already taken some first step. So they're a warm audience as opposed to a cold audience, which is a static audience. So custom audiences can be really powerful, and there's a lot of different options we can see here. The 2 most powerful and the 2 most used will be if you have a website, and yes, website traffic. Same with you. If you have an app, this customer files, if you have a bunch of emails, you can just load the email list into Facebook and target them. But just this engagement based off people that have engaged with either your page or your videos. Okay, so now let's go into the saved audiences. There's also lookalike, which we won't talk about today, but it's basically if I have some huge custom audience of 100,000 people, I could create a lookalike that's basically people that act just like my custom audience. So saved audience, I can do all these things. I can do by location, age, gender, really where the detail targeting is where we have the power. And I have these things here, and I can see here on the right, it tells me what kind of is going on. So if I type in book, I can see books interests. And Facebook, based off your actions, will lump you in categories. So meaning if people are on a lot of websites about books, or they're on a lot of Facebook pages about books, then Facebook kind of puts 2 and 2 together, says, you know what, I think this person has an interest in books. And they put them in this huge category of 580 million people that like books. People have expressed an interest. So it's not these people told Facebook. Facebook just lumps them in categories. But I can see here is also behaviors. And now purchase behaviors, purchase types, books. So this is a little bit more powerful because let's say I'm trying to sell a book. Well, most people just type in books and they put, okay, I want to target people that have an interest in books. Well, yes, but really I want to target people that have an interest or that have shown a propensity for buying books because I want people to buy my book. I don't want people okay, me personally, yes, I have an interest in books. I like to read, but I don't go around buying a lot of books. So if I get advertised to, it's just not something I really purchase. If I do it, I usually will either rent it from the library or go to Barnes & Noble. I would never buy one online. These people have shown already, a history of buying books online. So these behavior targets are really powerful. And you can see it's a little bit smaller, which is fine. 84,000, that's plenty of room. You won't hit all those people for $1 a day. But look for these behaviors. And there's lots of different ones. I can browse interests right here, behaviors, digital activities, finance. If I want to get nitty gritty, I could target, people that make a certain amount of money or drive a certain car or just moved or whatever, have a certain job role, media, purchase behavior, people that are online purchasers, purchase types, books, right there. So this is where you kind of have some power. And then one thing you can do is, so let's say I want to target people that have bought books, but let's say my book is in the horror genre. I might also type in Stephen King. And what I've done, let me show you. So the audience right now is about 80,000 people. So apparently of those 84,000, 4,000 of them live outside the United States. Because my reach is about 80,000, that's fine. So I could add more. I don't just have to do one. So let's say again, I wrote a horror book. So I'm gonna also target people that have an interest in Stephen King or fans. In this case, any Stephen King book. I can see there's all these different things, The Stand. I'm just gonna keep it simple. Just anyone that has an interest in Stephen King. Well, now my audience size is 2.3 million. That's kind of big. You know, it's gonna take a long time for Facebook to find out what's working within that audience. So instead, what I can do is, if it'll let me, at least have the X over here. Facebook's always changing their things. That is really dumb. I hate how they do that. There we go. You can see down here I can either exclude people or narrow my audience. So maybe I want to, for some reason, exclude, but in this case I'm going to say, by saying narrow, and I'm going to say people that like books and like Stephen King. And I'm sure any huge author, obviously some small author might not, but J.K. Rowling, anyone would show up here in the targeting. But I'm doing a horror book, so I'm going to say, okay, I want people that have bought books and also like Stephen King, so kind of like the horror genre, because those are the kind of people that might like my book. Now I can see the audience is 1,200 people. So at this point, it might be a little bit too small, so maybe I can make it bigger by adding to this top point, because now I'm saying anyone that likes A and B, and I just made A bigger because I added the second, the interest. So now I can see it's back up to 1.9 million. So there's a lot of different things you can play around with, but we think the most powerful space is down here rather than like the demographics, or, I mean, you could say 18 plus or whatever, And then one of our favorite things to do too is to target by employers. So if I have a video that does really well, this is what we did to grow Isaac's. That video has gotten hundreds, I don't know if it's got hundreds, but it's gotten millions and millions of views, like over 10 million views now. Like I said, it's gotten picked up by a lot of publications. He's getting speaking gigs, all these things. So when you have something that's really high authority, you want to target it to influencers within your niche. So if I type in Barnes & Noble, the first thing actually that pops up, see, it knows that I like to do this, is employers. So all the people that work at Barnes & Noble, 1,100 in the United States apparently. So I could do any of these, or I could do like KSL TV, and again, employers, and I can even do by job title. I could do marketers or I could do writers. So the point of doing this influencer thing is that when you target people that work for a place, Barnes & Noble maybe isn't the greatest example, but let's say we target a news station with a high, has to be content that has high authority, meaning it has social proof, meaning people have already engaged with it, like Isaac's video. Then those people pick it up, and if they share it, if someone, if I were to target Stephen King, which would actually be a little bit difficult to do, but if I were to target a bunch of people that work for, every niche has influencers, whether it's bloggers or people that write for a magazine that talks about books. So I don't know what the magazine for books is, but if there's some magazine and I wrote for the journalist of that magazine with my video that has a lot of social proof, then they see it and then they write about it in their magazine. Now all of a sudden everyone in their audience becomes my audience, and it's going to be interested in my book. So that's another thing we like to do, is targeting people that work, that are employers, at the influencers within your niche. So again, if I was doing this, let's go back to and we'll end with this. I mean, nuts how they put the X down here. It makes no sense. Books, sure, interests, and Stephen King, interests. Last thing I want to do is name this audience. We have our naming convention. I like to do saved book Stephen King interest 1.9 million. So now when I go back to my page to boost a post, I'll have this new audience that'll come up and say book, and Stephen King interest, 1.9 million, as well as any others I save. But I want to save them here in the Business Manager, and I want to create a few of them so that anytime I have an ad, it's a combination of a piece of content against a target. And I want to see, A, what content works, but also what target works. So I want to test a few different targets. So maybe one of my targets is the Stephen King interest. Maybe one of them is just people that have shown behavior for buying books. Maybe there's some other authors that I could target. You know, I don't know who the other horror authors are, but maybe I want to target, you know, J.K. Rowling. Or maybe I just want to target one of Stephen King's books, like It, because the movie's coming out. Oh, this other stuff. Let's do The Shining. So I just want to target people that specifically like The Shining, because my book is also about some haunted hotel. So maybe, you know, if they like The Shining, then I mention that in my video and say, hey, you know, The Shining was my favorite book and it inspired me to write this book about, you know, this hotel, and I go on, and then I target people that like The Shining. You know, that's going to probably get me a good relevancy and a good cost per engagement. So talk about something interesting in your video and then target those people here on Facebook and create a few of these saved audiences and then test it against a few of them. You can only test one audience at a time, but I can do $7 a day against one audience, and I could choose a different one. Or while it's running, I can change the audience too. So if something's not working, I do it for $7 a day, and 4 days in, I'm like, you know what, this just really isn't like that, getting as good results as I've seen. I could kill it, or I could come in and edit the promotion and say, you know what, I tried a different target this time, so I'm going to change the target. And while it's running, I can change the target just by clicking on it and edit promotion. So anyways, that's what we call our Facebook for $1 a day strategy. We've seen it work time and time again. The biggest holdback most people have is they haven't done it before, so they're a little nervous. Look, Isaac's just making all these videos on an iPhone. Okay, he did a little bit of light editing. That's fine. You don't need that. You can do that. You can add a little music if you want. But all it takes is just get your iPhone out, make some videos, talk about your book, why it's interesting. You know, forget talking about yourself. People don't care about that. Think about what people care about. Choose an interesting thumbnail, and then just boost it for $1 a day. And then just test. Then when you find your winner, put more money. If I find something that's doing really well, maybe I'll put $5 a day against it, or $10 a day. So that's what we'd love everyone to try. Hopefully that made sense. And with that, I'll turn things back over. I think we wanted to end with some Q&A.
That's great. Thank you so much, Logan.
Yeah, no problem.
This is great. And Rama, do you want to switch screens so we can go into the questions?
Yeah, let me do a sign off here. Thank you, Logan. This has been Logan Young from blitzmetrics.com. We've just had a great webinar on Facebook ads and targeting ads. Of course, video is what seems to attract attention. Logan Young has kind of walked us through some of the basics of targeting audiences. So thank you, Logan. This has been What is Social Media Today, teaching you how to win at the game of social media.